Hello party people, it's me, your party host Loctavian, and in today's video we are talking about a brand new category on speedrun.com. That category is for the Elder Scrolls Online. That's right, after 6.5 years of existing, it's time to speedrun ESO. In this video we are going to talk about the rules of the run, the meta for the run. I'm going to discuss the run that I tried to do to set the world record. And we're going to talk about our impressions of the entire speedrun category and what it might mean for ESO. But first, if you could take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. I'm just starting out here on YouTube and it would really help me out. So first, let's talk about the category. There is in fact actually two different categories. We are talking about the new character category here today because it's the one that I personally did a speedrun for, but there is one for people who want to use all their champion points in any percent category. These categories were put up by Kronos and also kind of maintained by ESO Nightingale. You can find links to both of their channels in the description below. But thanks to them, we are able to start speedrunning this wonderful game. So in the category I ran, new character, there's only 2 records as this just started. Those records are set by myself, and that's a 6-hour and 15-minute run. But the world record's actually held by Stank Tank, who you can also find a link to their channel in the description below. And that world record is going to be 3 hours, 56 minutes, and 24 seconds, which is quite a feat given that in this run, you have to take a brand new character, no champion points at all, and you need to complete the entire main quest. That's the Harborage quest, the old vanilla main quest, which does include doing the entire storyline quest for Cold Harbor. So if you want to set the record, you got to make sure you're coming correct. Now, the rules for the category are currently set as this. The timer is going to start the minute you get and talk to the hooded figure to start the quest. Now, before that, you can't go get wave shrines ahead of time. You can't pre-get gear. You can't level up. You must go directly from starting the game, skipping the tutorial, and going directly to the hooded figure. It's going to stop the minute you finish the God of Schemes, which is when you talk to Cadwell after you defeat Molag Bal. Players must start with a fresh new character. Can't be a character you already have. You can't use any champion points whatsoever. They're completely barred from the run. You can't get Vampirism. You can't get Werewolf. You can't use the Crown Store. Can't go to Guild Traders. You have to use only what you get on the run, whether it drops from enemies you kill, you get it as a quest reward, you buy it from a standard merchant in game. That's all you're going to be able to use for this run. That includes not using the daily rewards that you get. Just got to do it completely fresh. The only thing that really is allowed that's not standard in the game is you can use add-ons, because there's no add-ons that are going to really speed up the game, but they might make navigating the game in a speed run quicker. So you can go ahead and leave all your add-ons up and running while you play the game. So with the rules covered, we really need to kind of start taking a look at the meta. So it's all theory crafting at this point, being a brand new category, but it's looking like the best possible class you can play is a Mageblade. You're going to want a Magicka-based Nightblade. The reason for this is pretty simple. Magicka is going to get you access to Destruction Staff. That's going to give you a lot in terms of dealing with packs of mobs, trash pulls, and things like that. Being a Nightblade gets you access to some shadow abilities that both aid in how quick your character moves, but also lets you stealth. Because a big part of getting through this run quickly is skipping as many fights as possible. Due to the way your levels scale in zones, it's not as important to get your levels any higher than is needed to get the abilities you want for the run. In fact, you're going to end this run around level 14 to 16. So you really should plan for a single combat bar and the like. Another thing to remember while you're doing the speed run here is there is large cutscenes where the characters talk for upwards of 1 or 2 minutes. So don't level up as soon as you get your level ups. Don't equip your skills as soon as you get your skills. Know what you're going to take going in, and as soon as their talking will continue the entire time you are leveling up, equipping your new gear, and putting like the different skills on your skill bar. So that's going to be the best time to do that. Right now, it hasn't been tested whether or not going out of your way and taking the time to get the Mundus Stone, the Steed, which if you start in the Almeri Dominion, you can take a boat to Reaper's March and grab it fairly quickly. It's going to add time, but the bonus to your move speed could pay off in the long run, as well as the bonus to your health. What is absolutely needed for the run to be completed the quickest, you're going to make sure that after the first few Harborage quests, when you do get sent to talk to the Mages Guild, you pick up both the Mages Guild and the Fighters Guild skill lines, because Persuade and Intimidate come up more than 4 times throughout this run, and having those allows for dialogues to go much quicker. So, and the last thing, as far as the Harborage goes, I can only speak to the Almeri Dominion, but when you leave the cave from the Harborage, if you run down the beach to the south, the Visage is going to appear much quicker to start the next leg of the quest, and that's going to send a lot of time. Finally, don't mount up. Sprinting is much faster than a completely untrained mount, and the fact that you're only going to be able to train a mount once is going to take away precious gold, since you're not going to have a lot of it, and it's also going to slow you down versus sprinting. Finally, along the way, make sure you're always picking up food you find, even if it means stealing the food or buying it off of a basic food merchant, because the added bonuses to your health, your stamina, and your magicka are going to come in super handy. So that's basically the rules. That's some of the meta we've discovered. There's a lot of discussion, as this is a new category, going on the Discord. There's a link to that on speedrun.com. Make sure you check out the Discord to see what the most current meta is if you're going to be speedrunning ESO. So now we're going to get into kind of my experiences speedrunning new character. I started a new character and I went in pretty blind, to be honest. I had not done the main quest in years, so I just went in to see exactly how well I could do. As we saw by the records, not nearly well enough. I'm going to have to knock about 2.5 hours off my splits if I want to be a contender for the record. I did discover a number of things, though, that I think are going to help with future runs. First off is you can run the Cold Harbor quest line at any time. You can start the storyline without doing the Harborage quest first. While this doesn't help with the speed of your full run, if you want to practice just the Cold Harbor section, or you want to practice just the Harborage section, you can do that by taking a new character and practicing and like working on your splits. And I think that's going to come in handy, since a lot of my slowdowns came at various times, but definitely in Cold Harbor. The second thing you want to do is to make sure you study all of the puzzles. They have very specific answers, and it can be a huge slowdown if you are running through Cold Harbor. You get to the Meridia Crystal puzzle, and you find yourself not knowing what to do, such as what happened to me. And while I mentioned in the meta you want to make sure you're grabbing food, that's something I didn't do, so it really did hurt my run. However, I had an extreme amount of fun doing speedruns for ESO. The thing is I have been playing ESO for over 4 years now, so I love the end game content. I love trials, dungeons, PvP, you name it. Fashion is huge. I love to design houses, but this is a completely fresh way to play it. You're not doing the quest to enjoy the storyline. You're not rushing through the quest to get skill points. You are sitting there in the grind, and adds a level of, like, for me, an intensity and an excitement to a section of the game that no longer holds as much excitement for me with all of the wonderful new stories that have come out. So this is a really good way, I felt, to refresh the game and to just do a different sort of content. Over the course of 6 hours, I was constantly finding ways to maximize my run, looking at ways to speed things up, things that I don't normally think about. You know, normally I'm thinking about how I'm going to best handle a veteran trial, or how I'm going to need to scry a throne to make my house look amazing. But you're really thinking about the minutia that you kind of forget about, even doing things like PvP and raids. So I think it's a ton of fun. I think being a very new category, there is going to be more categories eventually, but this is a fun thing to get in on the ground floor of, to really spice up the game and check it out. So I had a ton of fun doing it. You can actually find my entire run if you want to check it out, both on speedrun.com and linked in the description below on my VOD channel. And that kind of brings me to what this means for ESO. Like any game out there, you can play it casually, you can play it for in-game content, all sorts of reasons, but all games end up getting speedrun categories. And the reason for that is, as I mentioned before, the excitement, the community, the sense of belonging you have when you're supporting each other along the way. I know people who plan to speedrun the category, and even Stank Tank, who was the world record holder, were there while I was doing my run, supporting along the way. So you get a new community, a new sense of belonging, and you also just get a new and exciting way to spice up the game. And just like anything else in ESO, you can do it when you feel like it. For me, I'll be speedrunning it for the near future. I stream on Twitch Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday, but Wednesdays are going to be the day we work on our splits or do full speedruns. And you can find a link to my Twitch in the comments section below. So yeah, in closing, I love Elder Scrolls Online. I've loved it for years, but I am so happy that going into its 7th anniversary, not only do we have a fabulous new chapter coming up, but we now have speedrunning. So yeah, feel free to mention in the comments below what you think about the idea of speedrunning ESO, what you think about ESO in general. I'd love to hear from you. Have a great one, party people.